What's up, Bruce? Oops. What's up, Brewskis? Welcome back. My name is Marco Dupa, and that guy right there, that's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Tonight's brew is from Redlight. Redlight. I'm so excited to be back. I just can't contain myself. It's the Audubon bitter. It's bitter. And Adam will have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? I just have to tell you guys about my experiences and the positivity that was radiated throughout the my previous week and just what we did while we were off for a week.
Yeah.
So we'll let you guys in on that. And also, I mean, where are we at with this Hollywood thing? China. We got we're wait, what was the last thing? What was the thing before the
Before China?
There's nothing before. There's nothing before China. There's nothing before.
There's nothing before. That's kind of racist. Don't do that. I don't like that.
Sorry.
I don't like the bowing.
Well, I didn't mean to bow. Like, anyway.
Yeah, right.
Fuck it. Let's just get into this podcast. What episode? It's 359 of the One Beer In podcast.
Oh, chunky.
Yeah.
Lost to be found, not someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored
Buzz Lightyear.
when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out.
He's got to see it.
I mean, he better. So, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. This is episode 359, and as I said, Marco Dupa, Obesius. Let's get right into this.
Okay, let's do it.
What are we drinking tonight, my friend?
As you so eloquently introed, we have the Audubon Bitter, a neighborhood beer.
I am nothing if not eloquent.
That's true. Audubon Bitter, a neighborhood beer, and it's an ordinary bitter. And we do have a cold read.
Hey.
We do have a cold read. I'd like to think that you had some part of that.
I maybe put a little bug in the ear, but
That's good. Audubon Bitter is brewed in the English tradition of session beers. Easy for everyday drinking at the neighborhood pub, discussing the issues of the day. It is 3.2% ABV, brewed and canned by hand at Redlight in Audubon Park Garden District in Orlando, Florida.
I'll be honest, I probably would have beefed up the cold read.
Yeah.
But
I'm just happy it's there.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Better than some other guys, that we sometimes feature on this very show.
You know who you are.
Sideward Brewing.
All right, let's get into this. So yeah, what I've
Can't play cough anymore, right? You just can't play cough anymore, right?
no, I don't know.
No, it's not allowed. Sorry.
Well, in fact, there was a COVID outbreak at Bonnaroo.
Wow.
I tested.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
It's about to slowly get further and further away.
I made sure before I left the house.
Yeah.
I waited a day or so.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. So, we were off for a week. You guys, I don't know how you even put your weeks together, trying to figure out like how are you going to manage? What are you going to do without, us giving you our opinions on the day. On
I would
the
like to
week.
think they spent at least a couple hours in their day in bed sobbing over it.
Yeah.
And then, realized like a ray of sunshine came through their window and they realized that we have well over 300 episodes to listen to and go back to. And I'm sure they haven't listened to them all.
Yeah.
And if you have, I feel like we owe you something.
If you have, honestly, let us know.
Seriously, let us know.
I would like to know.
We will send you something directly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Any merch, any new shit that we're working on?
Yeah.
You get it first.
You're in the VIP club.
So we're back. and we're ready to fill your week with joy and wonderment and beer opinions.
Sure.
And
in that order.
joy, wonderment, beer opinions.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get right into it. One of the reasons that we were off, the only reason that we were off. It was my fault.
Completely.
I went to ye old Bonnaroo.
The Roo.
We've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And finally, it comes up and we actually got to go.
Yeah, it actually happened this year. Crazy.
Happened.
Crazy.
2 years of, two
natural disaster.
yeah. Well, the other one was made in a lab.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about China later.
China. And so you go 2 years without this festival that's been going on since 2002. And a lot of twos in there. And finally we all get to come back to the farm. And
suitably in 2022.
2022.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 years. We finally come back 2022 after a 2 year wait from since 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Too much West Coast dick licking. Too many niggas on the mission.
Okay.
Doing their best Jay-Z rendition.
All right. Focus.
Sorry. And I got to tell you, man, I think that the 2 years off really kind of set the stage for everybody to come back and be really, really excited just to be there.
Yeah.
Because admittedly, the set list was not great. It wasn't like mind-blowingly like, I mean, the prior sets, I think Beyonce was on one of them, and I think Tame Impala was for sure on one of them.
Yeah.
Like there was some massive names on there. And there were still some like really good artists. I mean, I got to see Stevie Nicks.
Sure.
You know, I got to see Stevie Nicks. It's the idea of this legacy artist performing. I mean, she could charge half the Bonnaroo ticket price just to go see her on tour. And she's there headlining Bonnaroo. So it's good seeing these legacy artists.
Some bucket lists in there.
Right. So it was amazing, and the energy was just it was palpable.
Yeah,
it really was palpable. Like I don't want to be like a weird hippie and like be like hyperbolic about how it felt to be there, but there was just like this.
Hey, don't be afraid. Let it go. It's okay. Safe space.
Yeah, you know what? I will. I fucking will. It was just like this surge of positivity.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, the cynic in me see people walking around being this positive, and my first thought is to be like, well, yeah, I mean, you're here and you're doing the thing, you're putting on the show, right? You're like, everybody's gonna radiate positivity when you're at the place where they tell you to do that.
Sure.
Right? But at some point you just kind of let go of the cynicism and the anger and stuff and looking down on people and like, you know, side-eyeing, like
judging.
Yeah. And you're just like, everybody's here for one purpose, and it's to have a good time. Like there's no one there who's there to wreck it. Right. You know? People will show up to things all the time and they're just like there to just fuck someone's night up. And just like, I'm here to fight. I don't give a fuck. I got drunk and I'm here to like ruin a night.
I think that's the big differentiator. I'm speaking as a relative Bonnaroo newbie. Only been the one time that we went together a few years back at this point. But that's the big difference between going to Bonnaroo. I can't speak to other kind of famous music festivals because I've only been to a handful myself. But specifically Bonnaroo, that's the difference between Bonnaroo and like a concert, right?
Yeah.
Because at a concert, you always get that one guy that's like way too drunk, that's trying to fight everybody, or, you know, the other guy in the corner that's puking his brains out, and you have to just be around these people for, you know, 5 hours and like deal with it and be crammed up and like in a box of people sweating, and you're getting kind of tired and your feet hurt, and you know, you start getting in your head a bit more than you would like then you want to,
Yeah.
and you're starting to like not be present anymore, and then you're like, why did I even come to this thing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even here anymore. You know,
Yeah.
I'm in my head wondering when I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
because these people are all like frustrating me or distracting me. Not the case at Bonnaroo.
No.
You know, you have all the room you need. I mean, if you want to go close to the stages, obviously it's going to be a bit more packed, but everyone's, for the most part, very conscientious, and, you know, the planning is good enough that you feel relatively safe. And, you know, again, the vibe is more chill, which I personally appreciate.
Yeah.
And another thing you pointed to is, you know, everything kind of, you are on equal ground with everybody once you're there and haven't taken a shower for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you're all out, and I'm sure it was hot as balls.
It was.
Given how hot it's been, especially in the South.
It was blisteringly hot.
Yeah,
There was a historic heat wave.
Heat wave. Yeah, I mean we got some of it down here. Even.
Oh man, it was brutal.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of thing brings people together, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're all in it together. We're all hot and miserable. Let's just make the best of it.
Yeah.
And it's a bonding experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
With humanity, not only with your specific group, but with everybody.
Yeah. Really, it really
So-
is. You stop. Your judgments get left at the door because you're right there in the thick of it. Like you think, I would never let myself do something like that, and then like 3 days later, you're like, I haven't showered. You're like, I'm no better than anybody else here.
Sure.
Who the fuck am I to like look down on anybody? Like
Right.
you those judgments, you know, they start to fall away the more that you realize like, we're all just doing the same thing. Which I guess could be an allegory for humanity itself.
Sure.
Like you just think like we're all just kind of doing the same thing. Like how can you judge the next person? They're just everyone's just trying.
Yeah. See, now you're a hippie. Congratulations.
There it is.
It's
I did
worked.
it. Yeah. So the vibe was definitely there. You know, the vibes were there, and then the shows. It felt like everybody was really excited to just be performing again.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No.
I'm sure everyone's been asking you this, and I have to know personally because we haven't talked about this yet. But
Yeah.
what would you say is like the crowning achievement of the entire thing? Like who was the best? Who had the best set? Or who'd you have the most fun seeing?
The best set, I think, is a tie. No, the best set was Herbie Hancock.
Okay.
I mean, they were so tight. Herbie Hancock is he's a legend.
Sure.
You know, he's an incredible, just one of these stalwarts of music. So technically, the best set was Herbie Hancock. I mean, it put us in a. I mean, Lottie was crying at the end of it. Like it was a real
Nice
experience. It was a real musical, spiritual thing. I mean, I still can't like really put into words. I mean, I was so high. I was on the moon when we were watching Herbie Hancock. But the stuff that my brain was doing as he was playing, like I can't. I mean, I saw like cracks in the universe.
Babies being born.
Like every time like there would be a horn stab, it looked like the Blue Man Group, right? When they they douse their drums in paint and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't paint. It was like the essence of the universe in these cracks of the galaxy. And every time that there was like a stab, it would like and it would just spray everywhere. I mean, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna try to like parse it out and make sense of it.
Yeah.
But
I love who you've become.
it was a religious experience.
Yeah.
So Herbie Hancock's probably number one. Number two is probably The War on Drugs. It was a fantastic show.
Nice.
I mean, they absolutely crushed. And then number three, which could take the place of War on Drugs, I go back and forth between The War on Drugs and Toby and Weekway, this rapper from Houston. New-ish. I mean, he's been around since like 2017, 2018, but he's like finally like really, really kind of, yeah. And his performance was just, I mean, it was just incredible. Like, I watched it, and I told Lottie this after we were leaving. I was like, it wasn't just an incredible performance. It was like inspiring to me. I was like watching it and going, oh, that's how it's done. Like that's what gets people off their asses and out of their seats. This is the kind of energy you need to bring. This is the kind of like show that people want to see. Because admittedly, rap gets this bad rap. For a rapper just coming out there and basically just rapping over a piece of music, an instrumental or what have you.
Sure.
Right? And people always go like, oh, I mean, all they do is just rap over that thing.
I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. And worse yet, if you rap over your own vocals, that's like a cardinal sin. Even fucking normies know you don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
So the bar for a good rap show is, depending on how you look at it, is either really low or really high. You know what I mean? Because people have like really high expectations for live shows, but they lower their expectations for rap shows. But it's kind of insulting because you're like, oh, I'm not really expecting much out of this.
Right.
So, like, I know from personal experience, anytime that I've done a live show, people were like, oh, that was a good set. Man, it'd be really cool if you had live instruments, like a live backing band. It's like, oh, my shit wasn't good enough. Like, just me doing the thing wasn't good enough. You need to have, drum and bass, and you need to have all this other shit. And it's like, it's kind of insulting, but I also kind of understand where people come from. But I don't know. I've seen so many rap shows in my life that I'm just like, But I get it. I get it from. I have so many friends who only listen to indie rock, and so many like alternative friends and stuff like that who maybe have seen a handful of rap shows, and probably some of them only seen rap shows because a rapper was on the bill of
someone else.
Indie set. Yeah. So I get that their idea of what makes a good rap show is different than people who actually go to these shows.
Yeah.
All that being said, Toby and Weekway's show was just head and shoulders above a lot of acts that I saw over the week. It was incredible. He brought the energy. He had these ballerinas dancing in the background. He had his background singers were like on a stage above him, and every time he would like give them a second to kind of like do their little like R&B runs and stuff, and they would like crush. Each one of them would kill it. Crowd would go nuts. His songs are like high energy, so that's good. That brings it. And he was losing his voice too. He said this was like the last leg of his tour, and he was already losing his voice throughout the show. And he's talking about the energy of the crowd and like Bonnaroo's and how positive it is, and it's awesome that people. He's like, no, we got to come back here every year. This is amazing. People like there's like a lot of give and take between the crowd and himself. And he performs with his wife, which is really cool. So she comes out and she's doing guest verses. Then they brought their kids out. It was like this. It just was, I mean, just a stellar show. Stellar. So I go back and forth between that being the number 2 and number 3 because it was incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. Herbie Hancock though, like it's just, I can't put anybody
untouchable.
Above. It's
nice. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I feel like that's very that is very Bonnaroo because they've become this like kind of play this playlist on random type of festival.
Yeah.
So it's very diverse.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the beauty of the whole thing is when you're walking from one tent to the next, it's literally like if there was a couple of cars parked in a parking lot and each one of them was blasting a different musician.
Yeah.
And you're walking by and you just hear like 21 Savage. And then you keep walking and you hear Billy Strings. And then you keep walking and you hear like Mark Ribier or something. Mark Ribier's set was also, by the way, really, really fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, as to be expected.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of realized, because there were some people who were doing some people that we talked to who were like, oh, we'll do like 2 or 3 songs here, and we'll do like 2 or 3 songs here, and we'll do like 2 or 3 songs here, and we're like, that's not the way to do it.
No, you gotta commit.
Because Because you can come home and say, I saw everybody on Friday. But did you really?
That's not what it's about.
No, it's not. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
You go and it's about like being consumed by it. You know, you don't go hit a couple of songs and then you go, let's run over to this stage and hear them play a couple of songs and then run to the next stage. It's like,
no, it's not Horror Nights. Like, you're not trying to hit every house.
Exactly.
You can just commit to an artist and have their entire thing. I mean, if it's not really your cup of tea after a couple of songs, you can dip out. But
yeah, and I think
give it a chance.
If you're just going to, excuse me, a random artist that you don't know and you want to hit a couple of songs, that's one thing. But if you're going to like, I heard people talking about like, oh yeah, we hit J. Cole for a couple of songs and then we did this thing and then we did this thing, and it's like J. Cole was one of the headliners,
right?
You know, like you really sat. I mean, we sat for J. Cole for about half his set because he was playing at the same time as someone else. I think it was Mark Rebier. Don't quote me on that. I guess I could pull up the set list, or the schedule. Nah, it's not worth it. This show's not worth it.
We don't fact check here. It's fine.
But yeah, I got enough of the show to like get it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't dip your toe in like it. I couldn't imagine going to Herbie Hancock and like listening to a 10-15 minutes of it and then leaving.
Right.
There was a point while we were watching Herbie Hancock and me and Rob were sitting there and we're going down the tunnel of love, man. We're like we're just in it, just listening to this and letting it just wash over us like the rain. And some people in our group, they were trying to figure out because Stevie Nicks was playing the same day, but she was playing later, so we had enough time to watch Herbie's whole set and then go over to Stevie Nicks. So they're sitting there trying to plan that shit out, and they're like, you know, they're trying to get the group's attention, and me and Rob are just sitting there like,
no,
yeah,
no,
like you keep that shit over there. So then I put my sunglasses on, and I went to Rob, and I was like, they're killing my motherfucking vibe, man. And like I said, I was so high, and he was like, yeah, man. Let's go in there. Let's get closer. And I was like, let's fucking do it, man. So he and I go and we get as close as we can without like pushing through the crowd, which was close enough to really, really feel it. And then that's when I just blasted off to the moon, man. I was like another universe after that. It was good. It was really good. Trying to think. I mean, there's low lights. You have to think that it's a whole thing that they're trying to put on from Tuesday technically, because you have to set up all this stuff, to Sunday. Mm-hmm. It's really Wednesday to Sunday, but Tuesday, like people are trying to get in. They're trying to get in early and stuff. So I understand that this is a difficult thing to put together, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say before I dog them,
sure,
that I understand that it's difficult, but they've been doing this since 2002. They had 2 years off, and this was lower attendance than what they were expecting, right? How is it that we still have so many things like not going right? You know, showers aren't working, bathrooms aren't working, stuff's a mess. They're running out of ice. They're running out of it's things. It's these little things that contribute to the overall experience that everyone. I think that I've been going back and forth in my mind, right? I've been going back and forth between criticizing them for all these things and also understanding the position that the people who are putting this event on are in.
Sure. To
try to make this go off without a hitch.
Right.
There's so much experience that they have as promoters.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, there's a lot of people who are saying since Live Nation took over, they started cutting corners and they don't have the same resources that they used to have.
Yeah. And that could very well be it.
And I think that it's easy to take advantage of a thing like Bonnaroo, because the whole thing is to radiate positivity, and you take advantage of you take people's kindness for weakness. Basically, you look at them and they go, well, this is a bunch of fucking hippies that don't give a shit anyway. They're walking around with no shoes. Why should I spend any more money on these showers to work when they're not even gonna fucking use them?
Yeah. Well, if I want to get my conspiracy theory hat on,
Please
which
put it
I
on.
do.
I'm just gonna put there you go.
Thank you. Maybe this was a sort of a test run.
Conspiracy theories. Here we go.
Yeah. Maybe this was like I have to put aluminum foil on this thing.
Oh, we should do that. We should have conspiracy theory hats.
yeah.
Just put them on.
Yeah, we should. Maybe this was like a test run for them moving forward, because they had to anticipate this would be at least a somewhat smaller year than they're used to.
Yeah.
People were just coming back. Some people, I'm sure, don't have the money in this economy.
In this economy?
The gas money alone to get there
Man.
and back.
I did the layaway ticket, so I didn't have to pay it all at once. There's
Yeah.
no way. If you told me in early June that I had to buy the ticket, wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
No way I would
Yeah.
have been able to make it.
That's how they get you.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm thinking maybe this is them testing the waters at those cutbacks, because they know the audience size is going to be a little bit smaller. You know, we won't upset as many people. We can cut corners just a little bit,
Just a little bit.
and still pull this thing off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have X amount less than we usually do.
Yeah.
They may use this as like a case study to see what they can and cannot do as far as cutting corners moving
They can
forward.
and can't get away with.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened. Also, I mean, potentially, you know, a lot of their workforce, I'm not sure the exact percentage, is those like volunteers who come in
Yes.
and, you know,
Yes.
get their free tickets or whatever for working Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
And with fewer people attending, I'm sure they had less help.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
and that's tough too, because I mean, we overheard these guys. They were the bathroom attendants, and this girl walks up to one of the dudes, and she's like, "The woman's bathroom isn't flushing," and he's like, "Yeah, we know. I mean, there's nothing that we can do about it right now." And she's like, "Well, I know. I just the last time this happened, you know, they were like, nobody told us, so I'm just want to let you guys know." And the guy was. I mean, he shouldn't have taken it out on her, but he was visibly frustrated and was just like, yeah, there's nothing that we can do about it. Like, we're not, you know, we can't do anything. And then she walks away. She's like, oh, I just wanted to tell you. And then I'm in line for the men's bathroom, and I overhear them, and they're just like, we're fucking volunteers. We're not even getting paid to deal with this shit. Like,
Right.
this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Picked the wrong year, bud. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, you got a free ticket.
Sure.
You saved close to $500.
Yeah.
Plunge the fucking bathroom. You know, it's like, and that is the internal struggle that I'm having, because on
Yeah.
the one hand, if
Yeah.
I was a volunteer, I would feel exactly how he feels. On the other hand, you saved so much money. You're sitting there in that seat for free, and all they asked you to do was watch the bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody walks up to you and says that the toilet's not flushing, hey, guess what? It's your fucking responsibility to get up there and do something about it. Or else you can pay like the rest of us paid,
Yeah.
and you get to chill
Yeah.
and complain about the bathrooms like the rest
Well,
of
I'll
us.
tell you what. I'm sure those guys are paying next year.
Yeah. I mean, it gets to a point where it's not worth it. Like, you know?
It's
Because
got to be luck of the draw, you know?
I wouldn't want to volunteer at a thing like that.
No.
Not because of how filthy it is or whatever. I'm there to have a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to work.
Of course not. Of course not.
You
That's
know?
stupid.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I never understood that. I heard about it since even before I went to Bonnaroo for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never.
No, it's lunacy.
No.
Lunacy.
Doesn't make sense to me.
No, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Lottie did it, I think, twice.
Yeah. That's where I heard it from.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't understand why you're doing this.
I
This is
don't,
ridiculous.
I don't get it personally. I know it saves you money, but you know, it's like you're going to Disney, but you have to work half a shift or something.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I'm not going to do that. By the time I'm done, I'm gonna be exhausted. What are you
Right.
talking about?
Like you have to be the roller coaster attendant for like 6 hours before you can actually ride the roller coaster.
No.
Then at that point you're like, well,
Yeah.
was it worth it?
When I'm cut, I want to go home now.
Right.
Like I'm done.
Right. I did my shift. I want to go home and relax.
Right. What do? You go to your tent, fall asleep.
I wonder if they have tents or if they if they're put up somewhere. I don't know. I'll ask her about.
Yeah,
I'll
I was
ask
gonna
her
say,
about
let's
it.
ask Claudia.
I wonder about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got the bathrooms not working. People are just absolutely annihilating these things. I mean,
Of course.
and again,
They still have the porta potties and stuff.
oh yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
and those things were an absolute, unadulterated horror show.
Of course.
Now, to their credit, they tried as hard as they could to keep them cleaned up. They did come every night and cleaned up. They came with the big septic tank truck and emptied them out and everything. But I mean, as soon as the morning came by, people were lining up. It was like they were doing it on purpose. They're just waiting for them to clean them up so they could fuck them up again.
It's time.
And then if you wanted a nicer bathroom, you could pay $10 to take a shit
Sure,
in
yeah.
an AC nice like trailer unit
Yeah.
thing.
I remember we snuck into those.
Yes, we did. Yeah, because there was nobody at the time. They were just like
They didn't care.
No, they didn't give a shit, and we just walked up. You gotta. The thing about sneaking into anything, I think, is even if you get kicked out, like before that, you have to pretend like you're
belong.
supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Act like you've been here before. Is
Sure.
what people always say, and it's this energy of like.
Of course I'm going in here.
Right.
I've been here 100 times.
Right.
You don't
I'm not
remember me?
I'm not even thinking about not coming in
Right.
here.
I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah. I'm just walking right in.
Yeah.
And if you stop me, it would be confusing to me.
Right.
Because I have done this 1,000 times.
Exactly.
And that's how you have to walk around. And maybe we could have snuck back in, but I honestly, well, for the first 2.5 days, I didn't poop, and I got really scared. I was like, oh no.
Oh.
This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like my body is rejecting this, and maybe I should stop eating, or maybe I should take like a laxative or something. Like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's a camping belly, ain't it?
Yeah.
You know, like you just get stopped up because
Yeah.
your stomach's like, we ain't going here, man. We don't know what this is.
What is this? Where
Yeah.
are we? Not here. But luckily the floodgates opened up. And,
Of course, yeah.
And then
Thank you for letting us know. Yeah. Was it the spicy pie?
No, I didn't have spicy pie till later on. At that point, I had already pooped a good couple of times.
Yeah.
You know what? There was a moment where I was drinking, and I was drinking for the sole purpose of the alcohol to run through me to push the rest of it out.
Okay, yeah. That's a strategy.
Didn't work, by the
No,
way.
it's
Didn't
like,
work.
Like pipe cleaner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't work this time. My body was just like, no,
Nah,
it's not happening.
we're not doing it.
It is not happening.
Never had that problem. Tell you what.
I tell you what. So it's just little stuff like that. For years past, they would always have 2 entrances. This time they only had the one, so they were kind of bottlenecking people, and people were frustrated about that because it's like, dude, it's already 102 degrees out here. Now we have to be smashed together with all these other people. It's kind of fucked up. So there was like little, you go on Reddit or you go on the Instagram comments of the official Instagram or the official page of Bonnaroo
Yeah.
and look at people's complaints and stuff. And while they are warranted, I mean, there was just, again, it's just like on the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, I get it, on both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah.
So
The duality of man.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to go back sometime. I do miss the farm.
Yeah. So maybe we'll look at the set list for next year.
Mhm.
Maybe plan accordingly.
Yeah, yeah. Get stinky.
Get stinky.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, now that they're back, I just don't understand. I can't imagine them not in 2023 having like a killer set.
Yeah,
list.
I'm sure it's going to be an improvement on this year. Not to disparage this year for you, obviously,
Yeah.
but I get the feeling they're getting the road underneath them again.
Yeah. Well, Frank Ocean is headlining Coachella next year, and if he's doing the festival run, he might do Bonnaroo. And if he does Bonnaroo, I will literally buy the ticket just to see him.
Yeah.
And then deal with the rest of it after
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact.
The rest is a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in that boat too.
Yeah.
I will say I still, to this day, would like to go to Shaky Knees.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir, man.
So
I have, after I got done with Bonnaroo, I was really thinking, because there was a guy that we were talking to for a little bit who had the Shaky Knees tattoo. You get the Shaky Knees tattoo, and you don't get do you get a free ticket, or do you get
something free.
You get something.
Yeah, you get something.
I don't know if you get like a 1-day pass or something.
Yeah.
But if you get the tattoo, they hook you up. And he had it, and we were talking about Shaky Knees for a little bit, and he was like, "Yo, I mean, Shaky Knees is awesome." And
I would
every
hope so.
fucking year, we look at the set list for Shaky Knees, and we're like, "Yo, it's perfect. It's just indie rock and rap music. That's all it is, and it's perfect."
Yeah.
Every year we look at it, it's like, how have we not gone to this?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Big Guava.
Yeah.
And except they actually keep doing it, which is nice.
Rest in
And-
peace to Big Guava.
I know. It was nice when it lasted.
What a festival, man.
Yeah.
What a fucking festival.
Incredibly stacked.
Incredibly stacked.
In hindsight, oh my God.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You think about who was on that set list.
Yes.
I mean,
Strokes.
who's who? Pixies.
James Blake.
James Blake.
Run
Run the Jewels.
the Jewels, yeah.
Action Bronson.
Action Bronson.
TV on the Radio was there.
Yeah.
I mean, even just that.
Yeah.
Strokes.
Yeah.
Pixies.
That's enough, yeah.
James Blake. That's
Yeah.
good enough. Hosier, he was having a moment at that time where he he headlined, and like people were freaking out about the
Yep.
fact that he was there. So just
Yeah.
the headliners alone in this small little town in Florida.
Well, I don't know how small Tampa is.
Well, but you know what I'm saying.
Tampa's kind of big.
I'm not saying Tampa itself is a
Right.
small town.
Right.
Where it was in Tampa.
Yeah.
The Tampa Amphitheater.
This little known place. You probably haven't heard of it. Little hole in the wall.
Yeah, all right, never mind. I misphrased that. Anyway,
It was incredible.
it's fantastic.
I'm trying to chase that dragon. So
Yeah.
I will chase it up to Georgia if you're willing.
I really want to go to Shaky Knees, and I think that if we do it correctly, money wise, I can do both. I can do Bonnaroo and Shaky Knees because they're around the same time.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, Shaky Knees is not a camping festival.
Yeah.
So we'd also have to pay for a hotel.
Yeah. A hotel I would prefer over an Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I've only heard worse and worse things about Airbnbs.
Airbnb's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Every time I look online, people are talking about how fucked up they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we did an Airbnb was New Orleans. Well, the last time I did an Airbnb was New Orleans.
Oh, me too.
Okay. So, and that was fun.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, there was, as advertised, we didn't get any like weird hidden charges. Nobody asked me to do the dishes. Like nothing weird like
Yeah,
that.
that was fine.
But what was that? 2019? 2018? That was 2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago. It's wild, dude.
Yeah.
I saw one that was like, this girl was asked to, there was a chores list, a set of chores that they had to do. You know, not like clean the kitty litter or nothing like that, but like, you know, you use a dish, you put it back, you know, keep this, that, and the other thing, like all this stuff. And it's like, the idea of an Airbnb is like, I'm paying less, and I get this more like homely environment.
Sure.
But I'm still paying a lot of money for this. I'm not paying to do chores. I'm not paying to clean up after myself.
Well, I think people forget the B&B part of it.
Yes.
Because at a B&B, it's essentially like a hotel. It's just in a more house-like environment.
Yeah.
In fact, you sometimes get more with a B&B.
Yeah.
They'll you know, tour you around the city.
Uh-huh.
They'll make you breakfast.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you have these niceties of home while you're away.
Right.
That's part of the B&B deal.
Right.
But I think a lot of people just go, you're renting a space as like a roommate for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that's what's happening now. I think
Yeah.
that's what's happening now is people are well, I mean, this whole housing crisis and stuff. I mean, we could spend the next, hour and a half and we still wouldn't unpack the whole thing of what's happening with the housing crisis in conjunction with these Airbnbs and how they're increasing their prices.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that stuff. But
All trickle down effect.
But just on the surface alone, you book an Airbnb thinking you're getting a better deal. But if you're asked to do anything outside of what you want to do, it's like, well, then I should have just booked a hotel.
Yeah. For this, I should have just gotten a hotel.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about it at all.
And hotels, and the thing about hotels is, like, you go to a place, and historically, hotels are just kind of like, unless you're booking a 4 or 5 star hotel, they're just kind of shitty. And you make the most of, like, where you're at, right? You walk into the place, you open the door, and you're like, oh, nice. Sheets on this bed. And wow, they put a flat screen in here? Look at that.
Yeah,
The fucking balcony. We're not looking at the parking lot. We're looking at the pool. Isn't that nice? That's crazy. And you make the best of it. But at the end of the day.
Bleach smell.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know it's filthy.
Yeah, of course.
But at the end of the day, you're just making the best of it, right?
Sure.
And hopefully on a trip that you're on, you're only sleeping there and eating breakfast maybe
Yeah.
and then dipping off, right?
Hotel's not the point of your trip.
Right. But an Airbnb, sometimes an Airbnb is part of the trip. You go to a place and you want to enjoy the city, but at the same time, you want to be at a place that's comfortable.
Yeah.
You want to come back to a home base and be able to cook in a kitchen and sleep in a comfortable bed.
Yeah.
And have a living room, have a space to feel like you live there for a couple of days. And that's the whole point of it, right? But at the end of the day, you're still paying to be there, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
to turn around and be like, well, now you owe me for that. It's like, no. Our deal is done. I paid you to be here.
Right.
You clean up. And that's not a privileged belief. I paid to be here. I'm not, it's not, I'm not paying. Like, it'd be one thing if if you destroy someone's house and then you turn around and be like, well, I mean, a hotel, I can destroy a hotel and nobody.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
No, not at all. I think they should. This is what, a well-meaning person would do, is just jack up the price enough for you to be worth your while to wash a dish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, they hit people with these hidden fees, cleanup fees. You leave and then you're charged another $100 because they're like, we had to clean up after you, and it's like, well, yeah, that was expected.
I put stuff in the garbage can. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it makes me
The
gun
sink
shy.
was wet.
They go in there with the white glove.
Yeah.
No, it makes me really gun shy to book a Airbnb. Like I'm at a point where I'm like, I'll just get a cheap hotel. Call it a day.
I'm fine with the hotels. The best thing about the hotel is that it's always so goddamn cold.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite things. Genuinely, it's one of my little pleasures in life.
Yeah.
Is going into a frigid hotel room. It's
Yeah.
my favorite. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
hotel tangent.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we should try
Shaky Knees hotel. I
Yeah.
mean, at the same time, like, I don't know how far lives outside of where Shaky Knees is, but
I think Athens is a good trip.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, did you use
two trips.
Did you use his real name?
Oh, fuck me.
Come on. Come on.
Shit.
Come on.
Now I have to fucking
Edit. Cut it out. Got to keep the bit going. Come on.
Yeah. Keep the bit going, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I guess Rex, we can't stay there because it's a little too far.
Yeah, it's hour 20 away.
That's not that bad.
I mean, to go every day of Shaky Knees.
Well, but hour 20 and saving ourselves, a couple $100.
Nah.
Yeah. All
If
right.
anything, I would invite him and then see if we could split up the hotel, you know?
I don't know how much he'd want to. He definitely would want to. I know he would want to spend time with us. That would be really fun. Get a 520 Royal Tree Lane reunion going.
Get the gang back together.
But I don't know how much he would enjoy. Cause the thing is, the rap acts are like rap acts that work with the indie acts, you know. So it's not just like traditional.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he might dig it. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah,
He might dig it.
Well, either way, Atlanta would be fun to explore too.
Yeah, definitely. But that's a year from now. Well, maybe we should start planning it now. That's how people get these things done.
Yeah, we're not very good at that.
No, we are
So,
not. We didn't even plan this week off.
No, no, we didn't. Clearly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, people always are wondering how people can travel, spend all this money, going around the world, and it's like, well, what do you do for a living? How can you travel so much? And I'll tell you. That sounds like the start of an ad.
I know.
People are always wondering.
Skip.
People are always asking me, and then you just hear it go. My voice go at 1.25 to 1.5 to 2. No, I it takes a little bit of effort. It takes a little bit of time and work and energy. You don't just wake up one day and then like just jump on a plane. What was that?
Sorry.
What was that? What the fuck?
You've entered the splash zone. I apologize.
It's fine.
I would get you a towel if I could.
No, I don't do it. Okay. It got all over my jeans.
So sorry.
But yeah, you put the time and the work in, and you can travel pretty easily. Cheap flights, cheap hotels, whatnot.
Yeah, it's all about planning, and unfortunately, I think we've both established we're terrible at that.
Yes.
I mean, I do. You know what? I've actually analyzed this. Let me get into this a little bit.
Please.
I've realized over time that obviously this isn't my realization. Don't worry. I have a lot of anxiety. I've known that for a long time. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
you just figured that out.
So
yeah?
I just realized I have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
No, it's that leads me to not want to plan, because planning gives me anxiety. Because if there's something set in stone that I know I have to do, even if it's something fun, even if you were telling me, hey, next week's Bonnaroo, and you have a ticket and you're going, I'd be like, it's great, but oh man, I'm kind of worried about it now.
Yeah.
It's something in the back of my mind that I don't like plans. I like doing stuff, but I don't like the planning. I don't like the planning, and I don't like having the plan.
Right.
Both of those things gives me anxiety, because even planning, then I'm like, well, I'll agree to that, but what if I don't feel like it on the day of? What do I do then? I've already, locked into doing that.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? It's already a plan.
That really is. That's anxiety.
I can't back out of it now. Like, it's a thing now.
Yeah.
So I've realized that's the root of why I don't plan things. It's not that I don't want to do them. It's just that, and this may be the core of why we've become such good friends, is that you're terrible at planning. and so whenever you're like, at 8 o'clock, hey, do you want to go out to this place? Or I'm at this place, want to show up? That's when I'm in my prime, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
Right.
I don't have time to think about it.
Right.
It's just, I'm doing it.
Right.
So all that to say, that's why these things haven't worked out for us, I feel.
Right.
Well,
then, and on the opposite end of that spectrum, I'm so absent-minded about things like that I'm so terrible at planning, because I don't think about it until I'm like, oh, fuck. I forgot about doing all of those things. I need to. Yeah. So that's like, people think that I'm inconsiderate sometimes, and it's like, it's not that I'm not considerate. It's that, like, my brain just doesn't. It just and it's something that I've been working on, and I need to continue working on. But like, your example, for instance, it's not that I'm not thinking like, oh, I wish Adam was here. It's like I'll be there. I'll be at a place for an hour, and then like, oh, it'd be cool if Adam was here. And then I'm like, hey man, I'm at this thing. Like, fucking join me.
Yeah,
you know. So, yeah, I think that's the beauty of the connection there. So, we both need to work on that so that we can fucking actually do things outside of just doing things.
Yeah, I'm working on managing that anxiety so that hopefully in the future I can feel perfectly fine having a plan and going through with that plan without worrying about it so much. Mm-hmm. So, see how things go.
We'll see.
See how things go.
I think for us, festival season is kind of over because I don't think there's any.
Yeah.
Oh, Okeechobee is in October, I think, or Halloween's in October. Okeechobee is close, but both of those are like jam bandy kind of.
Yeah. You know, I'd been tempted to go to one or both of those just because of its proximity. It's not too far away, but it's not really my thing.
Yeah,
I'd go if I had a ticket.
Yeah,
but you know, I'm not gonna go out of my way for it.
Yeah,
personally, no offense.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of the set lists, and I was like, it'd be cool. Jam bands are always fun to listen to, just because they you know, when they're jamming, you're just like, you're watching a master at work, and it's fun.
It's hashtag vibes. You just you go and you let it envelope you.
Yeah, envelope you. But it's hard to put aside that money and energy and time beforehand. You know, like at Bonnaroo, for instance, you show up and these guys are jamming and stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll sit down on this plot of grass and like listen to them jam. But would I have planned to go see a jam band? Probably not.
No.
You know, not unless Rob was there.
Sure. Oh, I mean, I don't know if I've been on record about this yet, but Rob is genuinely like the best concert mate.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best to, and I know you're listening. You're a great hang at a concert.
Yeah, he's
that's
fantastic.
All I'm saying. Yeah. So
yeah, he really is.
It takes someone enthusiastic about music that you're not necessarily into to really kind of make it for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because a person who's like really into a thing, and then you're kind of showing up to support, they can really, they're good. You know, if they're good enough at convincing you, they really get you to a point where you're like, you know what, I get it. I understand why he's so into this. And,
yeah.
Well, I mean, he was, I told you about Herbie Hancock, and then he's just fun to be around. You know,
this is the Rob Love Hour.
He's just a joy. He's just a joy. Just
a pleasant man.
I love that guy.
We appreciate you, Rob.
Love that guy. All right. Yeah. So I guess we'll reconvene when we when some of these other things come up, and we'll maybe in this next year, in these next 52 episodes, you'll see a different side of the One Beer In podcast. We'll have planned something, actually executed the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Don't overpromise.
I know. Under promise, over deliver. So we might plan a thing. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So now that we have no concerts to go to until the next couple of months, there's still movies to go to.
There are.
You know, plenty of things to see.
Yeah.
I still need to see Maverick. I know.
Come on.
I know.
Please see it in a theater.
No, I'm definitely going to see it in the theater.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to see it in the theater.
It can't be long for this world with Jurassic Park out.
Right.
So,
right.
Well,
you say that, but it's had a record-setting third and fourth week.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing that disheartened me personally, on a personal level, was I went to go try to get tickets this past weekend to see it in IMAX.
Jurassic Park?
No.
I was like, what?
No,
what are you doing?
Maverick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have like a legit IMAX theater in Orlando.
Yeah.
One of the big old boys.
Flex.
Yeah. So I wanted to go see it there and finally get the full like thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Because Because after I saw it, I immediately was like, okay, it's worth it. It's worth it for the extra money and the drive to get to Point Orlando to see it on the big old screen.
Yeah.
My brother saw it there, rave reviews.
Right.
I go to look it up. Jurassic Park's in there now. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, I guess that's it. So I'm scared for you. I want you to go like as soon as possible to see Maverick.
Yeah.
In the biggest theater you can, because I know Jurassic Park is eating them all up.
I know. Which is
Unfortunately.
which is crazy because it's getting the lowest reviews out of any of the Jurassic Park movies, and yet it's one of the most successful movies of this past like season.
Well, I expect the drop off to come swiftly.
Drop off already came.
Yeah.
60% drop off. But it already is sitting at almost 600 million globally.
Sure. I mean, how can it not, being a Jurassic Park movie and having the original stars back,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They were destined to make money regardless of how good or bad the movie was going to be.
Yeah. And the rest of the world doesn't hate Chris Pratt like America hates Chris Pratt. So
I don't think that's true.
No?
I think the vast majority of America loves or at least likes Chris
right,
Pratt.
Yeah, right.
It's just a few people online.
I'd say the red states like Chris Pratt a lot.
Of course. And there's a ton of people in those states.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no. I mean, joking aside, yeah. It's a select few people. Like, Twitter's not a real place. But if you go to Twitter, he's not. He doesn't have a lot of fans on the old tweets.
Yeah.
To the point that James Gunn has to publicly show his support for this guy.
Yes.
This millionaire A+ actor, not a care in the world.
Stop being
married
mean
a
to my
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And by the way, she's crazy hot. I don't know how with that fucking in her jeans, but
That's what balances her.
yeah. Keeps her humble.
Yeah.
Every time. That's how she yawns. Doesn't matter how hot she is. Hi, babe.
It's still worth it.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's actually more worth it. I was sleeping next to her and she just.
I love your father.
Yeah, I think Chris Pratt's doing okay. So
He's just fine.
I think he's doing okay.
He's just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jurassic Park doing numbers. Maverick
World.
doing numbers.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. Dominion, or is that the previous one?
No, Dominion. Yeah.
Right.
That's
So the
one.
previous one is
Fallen Kingdom. How can we forget?
Right. A movie that's not doing numbers. Well, not the numbers that people suspected that it would do. Is the Buzz Lightyear movie.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear. Just called Buzz Lightyear.
Just called Buzz Lightyear.
And people are speculating as to why and how this could happen to a Pixar movie, a movie based around one of the most iconic Pixar characters ever made,
Sure.
Buzz Lightyear, the toy. And so you've got all these theories as to why the movie did $50 million over the course of the weekend. Get our conspiracy theory hats on.
There we go.
Movie did $50 million over the course of the weekend. It was suspected to do or forecast to do $75 million. Didn't do that, obviously, and now people are calling it a flop. Now, $50 million over the course of 3 days is not a flop. It's a flop in the eyes of like Pixar
movies, yeah.
because those movies just do gangbusters. If it was any other animation studio, $50 million over the course of 3 days is not a flop.
No.
But that being said, considering what it is and where it's coming from, kind of a flop, which sucks. But you have some people politicizing the thing and saying that they went woke, and so they had to go broke, right?
Multi-million-dollar broke.
Multi-million-dollar broke.
Sure.
But the more realistic theories are that, there's a lot of theories. So let's get into some of them.
Okay.
We're at an hour, so let's do like 15 minutes. Let's get into some of these theories.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah. So the politicized, I don't even want to call it politics, because it's really like, I don't know, it's ethical.
Yeah, it's more morality,
moral. It's a moral stance that you're taking here.
Yeah.
It people are hyper fixating on the headlines that came out about, and this is where the Jaina comes in. Jaina. Headlines came out before the movie came out about them adding back in a gay kiss between two female characters.
Ew.
Right. So this, kind of blew up on the internet, and of course, all of the not all, I shouldn't say all, I'm not generalizing here, but some of the conservative speaking points on the internet got offended by them doing that. And it caused a stir. People,
a regular hullabaloo.
The wraparound sunglasses crew were up in arms about them adding this indoctrination into the movie.
Indoctrination,
and
it's a big word for them.
Lo and behold, I'm not saying they used it. I'm using it. Lo and behold, according to all accounts, the scene is maybe 5 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a family.
That's my favorite part about all of this is like, it's not like they're like full on making out, or like there's this weird sex scene in a Pixar movie. It's just a family.
They're expecting like, the cherry pie video, but lesbians.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they were thinking and what boogeyman they thought up in their heads, but the reality of the scene is that it's like a goodbye kiss between two characters. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not this grotesque, over sexualized thing. It's not. It's just literally representation of people who exist in real life.
Well, and the thing, like, people are always talking about how, why do we need to make a big deal about gay rights? Why do we need Pride Month? And why do we need to keep talking about gay stuff? Yeah, this, that, and the other, right? Why can't we just normalize it? And it's like this quote unquote agenda is about normalizing these relationships.
Sure.
And then the second that it flashes on the screen a normal representation of a queer relationship, and you guys lose your fucking minds.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, that's why we still have Pride Month. And that's why we still have people making a big deal about when somebody comes out. And that's why we have gay characters in these shows, and we have to talk about it all the time. Well, because you can't fucking keep it in your pants long enough to just let these people be people.
And not to mention, a quick aside, but I don't know if you were looking on social media during all of Juneteenth and all of the posts and stuff, but the amount of vitriol spewed and the laugh emojis across all of Facebook, like that alone is proof positive that it matters.
Yeah.
Like this kind of stuff matters.
Yeah. You wonder why these holidays are federal holidays now. You wonder why there's a BET. You wonder why all these things happen, and then you turn around and you make it so that these things need to continue to exist. You are your own problem.
Yes, you're making it a need.
Yeah.
You're making it necessary by joking about Juneteenth,
right?
Or
we would all love to just stop talking about this and just live as people, but you know what? We can't. You're not letting us.
Right.
You're not letting us just be. If these things could just be, we'd all be fine. But you're not letting it happen. And then you have the nerve to turn around and be like, why are we still talking about this?
Yeah, it's very thinly veiled hatred for everything that we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the point at hand. So that's one theory flying around is that they, quote, went woke by having a lesbian kiss, mind you, again, in context, a very simple, ordinary, like, wife and wife kiss. That's all it was. They weren't making out. There's no boob grabbing.
No.
Nothing. None of that stuff.
I wish there was some boob grabbing.
Why not? You know, throw it in their faces if they
Yeah.
don't like it. But no. Everybody's up in arms because, they're indoctrinating the kids because this family kiss happened. You know, it's ridiculous. You sound stupid.
Yeah. You sound stupid.
Moving forward, that's not the reason. That's not the reason why this movie's not doing well, in my humble opinion. You can have your own. My humble opinion is that, one, according to a lot of the reviews I've read, it's not a very good movie.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but that's not good enough for Pixar.
Right.
Pixar has a high standard that
Very
they're
high.
trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the stuff that came out while COVID was running rampant with Turning Red. I love that movie. I thought that was really good. And what's the one with Chris Pratt? Speaking of Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, the one the brothers one.
Yeah.
I
The
forgot what
mythical.
it's
It's in my mind's eye, but I forget the name of it right now.
Well, there was that, and then there was Soul.
Yeah. Soul.
And Luca.
Luca.
And Encanto.
Encanto. Yeah, but that was. I don't think Encanto was a Pixar movie. I think that was just Disney Animation Studios. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think, but I could anyway. They all kind of meld together now. They're all on Disney Plus. So
Yeah.
forgive us if our facts aren't exactly straight. But
Fuck you if our facts are
I feel them thumbing down right now. But yeah.
Oh no! They're gonna thumb down way before this.
A few other hot takes in there that they may have thumbed down already. Black Superman.
Black Superman.
I love it. Give it to me.
Give it to me.
Give me your hate. But no, my point was, I think it has more to do with the fact that it's not a very good movie. I mean, it's a fine movie. It's not bad, but it seems to be kind of middling for Pixar.
Yeah.
And B, it was a really weird kind of rollout for this thing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of confusion.
That's
you know?
my theory on this.
And speaking of this beloved character, it's not the one that we're getting in this movie. This is a different character.
Yeah.
He has the same look and tropes and all that, but it's like, I mean, first of all, it's not Tim Allen, right?
Yeah.
So it's not his voice, and it's not him as a toy.
And apparently he doesn't even make a cameo. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough sell for a Toy Story fan or would-be Toy Story fan to get into because there's not really a pull for it. It's like, it seems kind of unnecessary, honestly. I mean, I feel like a lot of people say Toy Story 4 was unnecessary, which I can see your point for, but I think this is just even a step further than that, saying like, in world, we have this movie of the toy that inspired the toy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one too many steps of clever for them to get away with.
Yeah.
It's confusing. It's too much for a general audience. And I think it's really being marketed for kids, but it has the look of a more mature animated movie.
Right.
So I think they should have chosen a lane of like making this Buzz Lightyear movie like almost like a I mean, it's kind of weird to say, but almost like a PG-13 action movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make it like really cool.
Yeah.
And for like us, as adults,
the people who grew up with Buzz Lightyear,
with Toy Story, instead of focusing on this kind of like movie that's trying to be for everybody and not really fulfilling any of those things. Mm-hmm. I think that's the real reason why this isn't picking up traction. And also, it's a return to the big screen, and there's some weird kind of I don't know. It feels like the movie theater is very selective right now for what they're going to go out and see.
Yeah.
So Maverick, huge hit. But some other stuff is falling through the wayside because people aren't willing to go out and see it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those unfortunate cases.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the it's a family affair that is not really like a family movie, and it's not because of the LGBTQ stuff. It's because it is like a more mature action movie. That's not it's being advertised to children, but it's not really a kid's movie.
It doesn't look like it.
No.
But I've heard in reviews as well that the tone it gets kind of scary at times, too much for like little kids.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have enough meat on the bones of the story to be fulfilling for like us adults.
Well, think about like who's like Chris. I'm sorry, Chris Evans is Buzz Lightyear, and then you have Taika Waititi as one of like the like funny
cat, isn't he?
Yeah,
the robot cat.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and but you just have these voice actors who aren't really like with Toy Story. A child doesn't know who Tom Hanks is. A child knows that's the voice of Woody.
Yeah,
right. But when you do a movie like Buzz Lightyear and then you have all these voice actors, there's a brand recognition to those people who are in the movie, right? But children don't understand that.
Right.
Like, we are going to go see that movie because, like, I want to hear Taika Waititi voice, like, this silly character. I'm a fan of Chris Evans. I want to see how he does with this. Like, it's just the advertising from day one has been super strange.
Yeah.
And even as, like, intelligent adults, when I first heard about the movie, I was like, okay, so what now?
Yeah.
He's the what and the what? This is a who? And Tim Allen's not involved at all?
right.
Okay, I don't really get this.
It's like a Metal Gear Solid 4 effect.
Yeah.
Or 5, I'm sorry.
5, yeah.
Where it's like we're not using.
Oh, so none of the people that I love are involved?
Oh, okay.
But it's the same people.
Yeah.
But then why would I go and see it? I would just like to take 30 seconds to I just watched Toy Story 4.
I'm counting.
Okay.
Go.
Wait, hold on.
And wait. Go.
Toy Story 4 is amazing.
Yeah.
I thought I watched it thinking the same thing as everybody else thought, which was that it was unnecessary. It didn't. Toy Story 3 was a perfect send-off. It's a trilogy. You don't need to do anything else.
Sure.
Toy Story 4 is the perfect send-off for these characters.
Yep.
Woody gets his.
10 seconds.
Some of the other characters don't really get their just due, but I think they got that in Toy Story 3. Woody finally gets the send-off that he deserves in Toy Story 4. It's fantastic.
You're done. Nice. Good. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree completely. And, I get why some people could be like, it's not necessary and still, even after seeing it, think that. Because it's not necessary. But I think it adds a rich epitaph sort of to Toy Story.
I think it's hard for Pixar because if they advertised it as a standalone movie, it might have thrown people off and they said, I'm not going to go watch the Woody movie.
Right.
So they had to call it Toy Story 4, but it is the Woody movie.
It is. And I think that's for better and worse because I think people went in with the expectation that we'd get more of the crew. And because it is so Woody centric, I think some people were left feeling kind of like it doesn't feel as complete as it should have. Yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
It is a standalone movie. It really is. And it should have been advertised as such. But now we're seeing with Buzz Lightyear that they were smart to call it Toy Story 4. They probably should have called this Toy Story 5 Buzz Lightyear.
But it doesn't involve toys. That's the problem.
But
that's the quagmire they're in.
But at least from an advertising standpoint, it would have got people enough to go, I'm going to go see the new Toy Story movie. We're not going to see the Toy Story movie. We're going to see the guy who the toy was based on. That's such a weird thing to do. It's such a spin-offs historically don't really work. Unless, you get like a huge name or the movie is like incredible. You need all these things to work for you for a spinoff to work, right?
Yeah.
So you already have this spinoff, which historically these things don't work. And then you're confusing the shit out of people with this spinoff. And then you're not even using the voice actor. Why isn't it Tim Allen? Say what you want about who Tim Allen is as a person, but Tim Allen should be voicing Buzz Lightyear.
So I heard this on the Big Picture podcast. Not to call out another podcast. I know we don't do that here.
We don't do that. Right?
But I need to cite my sources. According to the
we do that. Yeah. We do that.
We do that.
We do that.
According to the Big Picture podcast, they said a theory, like a headcanon sort of theory going around, is that basically the toy, they didn't have the money to get the original actor as the voiceover for the toy. So he's like a side cheap voice actor who they got for the toy.
And that was what I thought is what they wanted to achieve with that.
Right.
Was that it was just some like knockoff voice
Yeah.
for the toy. And that's cool. That's real. That happens all the time
Sure.
with
Yeah,
these
yeah.
toys. But we're talking about the movie itself. I understand that you're trying to make sense of why they made the decisions that they made,
Yeah.
but these like in the grand scheme of things, it just should have been Tim Allen.
Yeah.
It just should have been Tim Allen.
You know, they went for they had a definite decision to make there, and they went with the bigger star.
Yeah.
It's very clear. That's what they did.
Yeah. And it just again, I think that is part of the thing that hurts is they went with this guy like Chris Evans. As much as I like Chris Evans as an actor, I think he's fantastic, but he doesn't have this like iconic voice.
No.
You know, like he's not a voice actor. Like he
No, Chris Pratt is.
right. Chris Pratt has done, I mean, wonders with his voice. Of
course.
You know,
Yeah.
he's all over the map with his.
Garfield.
Like that's an actor. Mario.
Yeah.
You know, that's a voice actor.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, not so much.
No.
Just a guy. You know, he's just Captain America.
Just a guy being a
basically.
dude.
Yeah, just a dude being a guy.
Did we touch on the China element of this, or did we roll right
I guess we
past
kind
it?
of glossed over the
Yeah,
China
yeah.
element of it, but
Yeah. So very briefly, I think it's important to note that one of the reasons why this entire lesbian kiss thing was brought up in the first place was because it was originally cut out of the film, and Disney proclaimed with their entire chest that they put it back in. Obviously, tons of censorship has happened with American movies going to China.
China.
We've talked about it extensively on this podcast. We voiced our opinion on that. But, I mean, first of all, I don't think Disney deserves anything for doing the right thing.
Absolutely not.
And secondly, I think it only, again, proves the point of why these little elements of representation matter so much, is because they are so often cut out for the bottom dollar.
Right.
So, you know, I wish they had the balls to do that when Star Wars came around and they didn't want any black people in it.
Yeah.
I wish that was considered. Because, again, I'm still wearing the conspiracy hat, but
Yeah.
I guarantee the storyline was rewritten around the fact they didn't want a black lead.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Finn was supposed to be a bigger character.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to. J.J. Abrams could walk in the door right now, and I'd be like, "You're a liar," because I don't believe you.
Yeah,
There's no way, with the way that it was advertised, with the way that the first movie goes. There's no way.
The setup alone. What they did with that character was like disappointing.
Yeah.
Extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
From what they could have done and what clearly was laid out
Yes.
in the first
in
movie.
the first film, the story that he oh god
his like arc could have been
Should have been.
so much better
Yeah.
than it was, and deserved to be.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you know, say what you will, but that's my take on it, and I wish they had the balls to do that when
Yeah.
it mattered in the past. But here we are, and again, they're doing the right thing, but they don't deserve praise. They don't deserve to be looked
No.
at as this, you know, icon of representation, because they're not.
Because the only reason that they're doing the right thing is because we are starting to see, and this is kind of where China really comes in,
China.
or I guess doesn't come in. We're starting to see that the Chinese box office doesn't really matter that much anymore.
Yeah.
When it comes to a big blockbuster movie. Maverick is doing well without, like, even if you take the Chinese box office away from it, it's still doing numbers.
Yeah.
Jurassic World, another movie that's still doing numbers. Spider-Man wasn't played in China because of the whole Statue of Liberty thing, and they were like, can you cut all this American shit out? And it's like, it's in America, so fucking no, we can't do that. But it's not like they took this political stance against China. They just were like, we literally can't cut those scenes out. They are integral to the movie.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man it doesn't play in China. Guess what? Already cracked the billy. So American filmmakers are starting to see that you don't need the Chinese box office to make your money. You don't think Disney's paying attention to that? You don't think Disney is finally going, now we can do the right thing, quote unquote.
Yeah. Now that it makes us money.
Yeah. Or now that they're not
thing.
losing any money.
Right.
By bending over for the Chinese box office.
Oh, and I mean, you're a fool if you don't think that it's also the PR win for them being like, yeah, we're stalwart believers in representation in our movies.
Right.
Shut up.
Exactly.
No, you're not.
Exactly.
So, anyway.
Also, I didn't realize Kronk was part of this podcast.
Oh,
Star Wars believers. Yeah, so don't give Disney any credit. They don't deserve any of it. They cut a scene out, then put it back in. What the fuck? Like,
right. Who cut that scene in the first place?
Right. So, what we're left with is how much does the Chinese box office matter? How far is Disney willing to go to really be on the front lines of this fight, especially when it comes to Florida, because they have stepped into the foray of the politics of
oh God,
good
luck.
Exactly. So you can look that up. We're not going to go into detail on that.
Absolutely not.
But they are starting to really ramp up, I guess, their support, but only because it's financially beneficial for them.
Yeah.
So the question is really at this point, does it matter that it's financially beneficial for them as long as they are fighting, or do you judge them for only now fighting because it's financially beneficial? I leave that up to you guys to decide. Yeah. So I think we're done here.
I think we did it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked as much as we're going to talk tonight, but before we get out of here, we have to do our cheers of the week. You know what time it is. And Obi, I want you to start it off, my friend. What is your cheers of the week?
My cheers of the week is to Brian Lee O'Malley.
Brian Lee O'Malley.
He made a little series called Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I, my friend, have finally read it.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. The trilogy that it is. If you know anything about me, I'm a big Scott Pilgrim fan of the film. Had not read the graphic novels.
Yeah, but did you know that Scott was the actual villain of the movie? Did you realize that? Did you realize that he's actually like not a good guy? Did you put that together? Yeah, like how many times did you need to watch it to realize like he's actually like not a good guy?
Oh no, I've based my life around him.
Yeah, well, you probably made some bad life choices then because Scott's not the good guy in the movie.
Am I the baddie?
Probably.
Yes, I do realize that, and I think the book does an even better job of illustrating that. No pun intended, because it's a graphic novel. No, it's great. It's a great read, very very quick and fun read, but it gets a lot deeper as you'd expect a book to do. The characters are more well drawn out.
I did it again.
But yeah, it's thank you. That's enough. It goes different places than the movie does. It follows it to a certain degree, but there are definitely creative changes throughout that keep you on your toes, even if you are a big fan of the movies or movie, which I am. I mean, I highly recommend it for anyone of our generation. There's so many like touchstones of references that, you know, I'm sure many of you will get, and you know, it kind of transported me back to a simpler time, you know, with that can now be looked back as a bit cringe, but you know, there's a hefty dose of nostalgia in reading the books and just kind of, because he's kind of in the way that Harry Potter is like a character from our generation. So there are a lot of touchstones that you can kind of relate to, and he's kind of around the same age that we were at the time, and there's a lot of emotional and relationship depth within the books that are fun to explore, and it never gets too heavy, but it gets kind of deeper than you would think on the surface level. And again, it's a light, fun read, so I recommend it to everyone to go check out, especially if you're a fan of the movie, to get a bit more, in-depth view of this world and these characters. And I would love for Brian Lee O'Malley to make a new one of Scott Pilgrim, catching up with him in his late 30s, early 40s, and see where he's at now, because I just think that'd be a lot of fun. So, loved it. Think it deserves the cheers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I mean, every time I watch Scott Pilgrim, the first emotion that it elicits is melancholy.
Yeah.
Because there is this, I mean, it's a hilarious movie and it holds up, but there's like this level of sadness to it. Level of sadness for like almost every character in the movie. Like almost everyone's kind of like on the surface, it's this fun and like silly thing, but there's a real tragedy to all of the relationships and like how Scott has handled them so far.
Yeah. Well, and not to spoil anything from the books, but one of the things that's better executed in the books and the movie is that he doesn't even see himself as the bad guy.
Right.
But it's revealed to him that he has been the bad guy in so many people's lives.
Right.
And that realization, I think, is something that we all have to face at some point, because we've all done some dirt. We've all made mistakes. And I think that is something that everyone, if you haven't come to terms with yet, you probably should.
Yeah.
Because no one's a saint.
If you're our age, you definitely need to come to terms with that.
You've done guaranteed something to somebody.
Yeah.
So
there's somebody out there who was like, oh, he was the worst.
Right, exactly.
Or she was the worst.
Yeah. So, that
they
was
were the worst.
They were the worst. Yeah, I think that's one of the strongest emotional pulls of the story. So.
All right. Well, I'll borrow that and leave it on my bookshelf and never read it.
Yes. Also, Kim is best girl.
Yeah. I know that from having skimmed the first book. I think you had the first book for a while, right?
No, I got all three at the same time.
Oh, you did?
I've had them all for I've had them all for a while.
Oh, okay. So I've
only recently gotten through the trilogy.
I just know that Kim is in the graphic novel like way more explored and like way better than she is in the
way more
movies.
Backstory. I mean, by the end of it, I was like, that's the girl right there, not Ramona. Get out of here, Ramona.
It's Kim.
She's aloof. She's too aloof. Yeah. So I don't know. Kim gang.
All right. Kim gang. Hashtag Kim gang.
Yeah.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to the good people who put on Bonnaroo. The volunteers, the people, the promoters, all that jazz. Not Live Nation.
That one guy who didn't unplug the toilet.
that even fucking that guy. I talked a lot of shit in the beginning of this show. Yeah. But if I'm just keeping my positive hat on, I'm just radiating positivity. I'm just putting good energy into the world.
Good vibes, man.
I just have to say that it takes the nation, Public Enemy, and you need these people all in concert to put these things on.
Was that a pun?
It was. And it takes a lot of effort, time, energy, love, and you need all of that to make sure that these things go off without a hitch. And for the most part, the week did go off without a hitch. I mean, there was like, some not so great elements of it, and I heard that there was like a not really very like there was an incident with a girl who I guess somebody got trampled trying to like walk into the center room, which is not great. and obviously that's not the volunteer's fault. What are you going to do?
Sure.
But like, there's just so. Only reason I mention that is because I don't want people to like listen to this and be like, there was some really fucked up shit that happened. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well, I had a good time.
right, exactly. So I don't want it to come off like I'm, being oblivious or indifferent to like what happened to those people.
Doesn't it suck that we have to like cover our asses that much though?
Yes, it does.
Can't you just have a legitimate feeling about something without
No.
having to like say asterisk? But I understand if you didn't have a good time, and I'm not trying to personally attack you if you did have a bad time. And
Well, I think that is a two-part thing. On the one hand, I don't think I can speak for you here. I don't think either one of us want to get caught with our pants down on a thing that like you don't want somebody to come later and be like, what about this? And like, no, I know, I just didn't mention that.
Sure.
I don't want
Yeah.
you to come back and be like,
that's why we do it so much. I do it too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, observing you and your general feeling of Bonnaroo this year, it was a generally positive one. But then having to put an asterisk on it and saying, though I know it was not without incident and some people were hurt and the bathrooms were clogged up and it's like, come on. Come on. Understand that what we say is not meant to be the summation of the entire experience for every person who went there.
Well, I mean, maybe that's on us. Maybe that's on us to stop thinking that this is the summation of everything that when we talk about a thing that we need to summarize it completely for every person ever that's ever going to listen to this.
I guess so. I mean, it's not to disrespect you, the listener. We love you so much. It's just that there are some people out there who will take offense and will target us because we didn't say that, oh yeah, even though we enjoyed this one thing, there are 10 other things about that one thing that actually weren't cool.
Yeah, and that's so that's just the internet, just being on the internet where there's that tweet that's gone viral a bunch of times where like they're like, you could be talking about pancakes and another motherfucker will come in and be like, I can't believe you were disrespecting waffles like that. I'm obviously paraphrasing, but
my wife died at an IHOP.
Right. And it's true. You could be talking about one thing and then here comes somebody else with like some completely irrelevant shit where you're like, well, I wasn't even talking about that. Now I have to address that thing. And so, it kind of, maybe it does prevent us from like having a more cogent point on a thing because you have to like hit every base.
Sure.
But, it is what it is. What are we going to do? It's fine. We can litigate this off camera.
It's fine. Okay.
So, shout out to everybody who made Bonnaroo possible.
Indeed.
We appreciate you. So, all right. Let's get the fuck out of here. I got to piss like a racehorse, but I can't do that until we review these brewskis. So, for the people out there, this is the Audubon bitter from Redlight. Redlight. I work there.
Take opinions with a grain of salt.
I've had this beer so much.
Okay.
And I say that only because I think it illustrates how good I think it is.
Oh wow, a rare Marco first review.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing right now?
I just want to get it out the way because I'm giving it a 5.
Okay.
Because I can just drink this like water.
Yeah.
It's light, malty, it's bitter. It's everything that you want from a beer. I would maybe prefer it to be a little bit higher in ABV, but that kind of goes against the ethos of, an English ale. It's supposed to be super light, super low ABV, so you can drink a million of them. That's the whole point of it. But I'd still kind of prefer it to be like in the 5 range.
Yeah.
But that's just me going against what it's supposed to be, so that's on me.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. It's a 5 for me as well. And I didn't expect it to be because I tend to shit on sessions because they tend to just taste water to me.
Yep.
But this one doesn't. I think the bitterness really cuts that lightness for me that usually equates for it to being tasteless or feeling like a diet beer, Mm-hmm. No, I really enjoy it. It actually does kind of remind me of some of the bitters I had over in Scotland.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. So
yeah, in those old school pubs that just have like ale or bitter,
Yeah.
like that's pretty close to what I experienced, which is a low ABV, general like kind of a like a base level beer.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy, nothing frilly, but it's just enjoyable to again have all day, really, if you wanted to. So yeah, it's 5 for me. I am impressed and I enjoy it, and I understand why you would have it
Yeah.
so often.
This right here, you see that?
Yeah,
That was my idea.
nice.
Yeah.
The little red light flame.
Uh-huh. That was my idea.
Nice.
All right. Unanimous 5 for the Audubon bitter from Redlight. Redlight. You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Adam says we got it, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast. For myself, Marco Dupa. For Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Ooh. I gotta pee.
Lost to be